Hello, beautiful people. I'm Pastor Jason here at Riverside Church, and this is your midweek encouragement. Hey, beautiful people, welcome back. Thank you again so much for joining us today in this midweek encouragement. I'm going to continue in just a minute talking about the adversity that the disciples encountered when Jesus came walking to them across, or actually he was walking on the water. And so, but before I get into that, let me just say to you one more time, if you don't, do me a favor and like this and share this with as many people as you can. There may be somebody out there that needs some encouragement that you're friends with, and we just need you to just share this with them so it blesses them and encourages them as well. Also, you can leave a prayer request in the comment section and maybe let us know how this ministry is blessing and encouraging you. We would appreciate it so much. Thank you, guys. Now let's jump back into the word of the Lord. I left you last week with talking about how Jesus showed up to them in verse 49 and 50 of Mark chapter 6, and the disciples were terrified as he walked across the water. They thought he was a ghost, and it terrified them. And if you'll remember, I said that it was, sometimes that when you're in adversity and you're toiling and working and doing everything you can to move forward, like the disciples were doing in the middle of a storm or in the middle of the wind and the waves that they were in, sometimes it'll mess with your perspective. And so they had trouble seeing that it was Jesus. But the moment Jesus began to speak, they knew who he was. And Jesus showed up and said, "Take courage, I am here." And I said to you last week, sometimes hearing is better than seeing. And in this case, we can see that that is absolutely the case. And so you might have your perspective distorted because of some adverse situation that you're in, but just make sure your heart stays in a place postured that you can always hear from the Lord. The next thing that we see happening in this is Jesus shows up and he says, "Take courage, for I am here." I thought about that. Here's Jesus telling them, don't be afraid. Take courage. And I was thinking, if I was in the boat and I had been out there toiling all night trying to get to where Jesus insisted that I go, I may have said something to Jesus like, "Take courage, sir, don't you know that I'm exhausted right now because I was trying to be obedient to you, and being obedient to you, I am flat worn out." Or, "Jesus, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I know you told us to get in the boat and to go here. You insisted that we did it, but not everything's working in our favor. In fact, everything seems to be working against us." Yet Jesus shows up and tells them, don't be afraid, or take courage. And I love that because the thought that I had was this. Despite the adversity that we're in, despite the fact that there are things working against us, even though we're in the will of God doing exactly what he wants us to do, things are working against us. It's the minute Jesus comes on the scene, two things happen, in my opinion. Number one, you start to assess the adversity that you're in, and you go, you know what? Maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it was initially. Maybe it's just not as horrible as I thought it was. I know when when you felt like Jesus wasn't there, maybe it just seemed like the end of the world is coming. But when you realize Jesus is right here with me, all of a sudden, maybe this isn't as bad as I thought it was. And so sometimes we over-exaggerate the adversity or the danger that we might find ourselves in. And number two, even though the situation's real, even though the adversity is real, and even though it might be really, really bad, here's what I discovered. When Jesus says, "I am here," I know that even though my situation might be bad, a great solution is standing in front of me. Jesus is here. And he says, "Take courage, friend. I am here." I don't know what you're dealing with right now, what kind of adversity or trouble you're faced with, but I just want to encourage you today, friend, and let you know that if you'll just posture your heart and hear his voice, he's letting you know you're not in this alone. The Bible teaches us that he's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. There's nothing that you're faced with right now that's impossible or too hard for him. Nothing's going to cause him to run the other way. He's coming to you in the middle of your adversity, in the middle of your situation. He's letting you know, take courage, I am here. God, thank you so much for my friends that are watching today, my family that is watching today. I pray, Lord, that you bless them, that you encourage them. I Pray, God, that you would let them hear and sense your nearness to them, that they may come to the realization the situation may be bad, but I know the great I Am is with me, and I know I'm going to make it. I'm going to survive this. I'm going to get to where he needs me to be. I thank you and I bless you, Lord. Amen. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching today. Share this with a friend. I'm sure it'll bless them. See you guys next week.